Hey guys, it's me, Damien. This week we're talking about back to school because if you haven't been in college already, you might be in high school, whatever the case may be, you're back in school. This is probably like your first week back, and while I already finished college and I don't really have any plans for the foreseeable future to get back into education system like graduate school or anything, back to school can be a very trying time for you guys, and I am here for you with some tips. Now, whatever the case may be, assuming that probably you haven't got your name legally changed yet, or your appearance does not match your legally changed name, or you're not passing, whatever the case may be, the first day of school is going to be basically very a trying time because that's when you get to meet your new peers that don't know you already. So you basically start from scratch. So you have to make a very good impression and try to basically pass as male as best as you can if that's what your name isn't legally changed yet. The time where you get to talk with your professors or teachers about your preferred name, even though if you haven't legally changed your name yet, that's something you might have to worry about. You don't know if you tell them like right before they're doing attendance, or shoot them an email if applicable, or basically how do you get around the whole not outing yourself to your peers and have everybody call you by your birth name or whatever the case may be. It's a really trying time, and while I haven't experienced this because I was still identifying as female, although a very miserable one when I was in college, I didn't come out as trans until months after I graduated last year. So it's a very trying time, and you basically are filled with anxiety all day because no matter what if you run into some people who still are calling you by your birth name and they out you to your new peers who know you by your preferred name? So it's a lot of anxiety. These are just scenarios I can come up with, and what would give me anxiety have I been in school still. So basically, you're gonna have to be very upfront about it. You have to go to your teacher and say, "Hey, listen, maybe preferably before class starts. Maybe like a few minutes before class officials start, maybe like 5, 10 minutes. You take the teacher away and say, "Hey, listen, I know my name legally says this, and it's gonna be like this on papers, but I would prefer that you would call me by this name." So most of them should be able to fulfill your request, since now a lot of schools are starting to have gender neutral bathrooms and starting to be a little more considerate towards transgender students. And also, there's a whole deal about, if applicable, specifically those in high school still, the gym. What locker you're gonna go into? Because sometimes you might be in that in-between stage if you're taking tea, like I was, like from 2 to 3 months, I was in this in-between stage until like 3 months I started passing consistently once my voice dropped. So it's a lot of anxiety. You basically have to come up with alternatives. For example, let's say you're obviously put in with the girls section, and basically you would have a lot of dysphoria changing in the girls' locker room because you obviously don't identify as a girl. So what's a person to do? You would possibly have to go up to your gym teacher and possibly work out with them like a solution to all this. Sometimes they could make you give an alternative, like take some other taekwondo class instead of taking regular gym classes with the girls, or come up with like some way to get into the boys' locker room and play with the boys. There's a lot of like issues and political correctness going on, so I can't really tell you what exactly to do. But one thing you obviously have to think about is communication with your gym teacher, or like counselor, and hopefully come up with some solution. Maybe you could take an alternative class, or maybe possibly take you can ask them if you can go change in someone's locker room, or some like maybe the staff locker room, like some more gender neutral, neither the boys or girls. It's different in every school. Like I'm not guaranteeing there's going to be a solution for each one, and you see on the news they come up with different ways of, you know, of solutions, especially when not a lot of schools still have a gender neutral bathroom at this point. So they might have to like come up with some creative ways. So it's a trying time in school. I definitely understand that, and I just want you guys to know that you are a guy and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And of course, there's always transphobia in school, even though it's not very rare since most of the kids are getting a little more open to the idea that like whatever makes you happy, and if this is what you want to call it, at least most of my friends were like that. I didn't really get in any trouble. So that's something to think about. Like, there's always like that silver lining underneath a really big cloud of whatever raining down on you once school starts. It's a very dysphoric time depending how accommodating your school is. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Like I said, I am not really going to share my experiences because, as I said, I didn't come out as trans until I graduated college, so I didn't really um, have any personal experience with this, but I can tell like what scenarios would be. I have to basically imagine like how horrible it would be to go to school and still have not your name legally changed, you're still not on team, you're probably not passing, and whatever the case may be, there's a lot of issues. We still have a long way to go, and hopefully these might be able to help you cope with school and maybe give you some solutions on how to rectify anything that could possibly be a dysphoric situation for you. So, just so you guys know, I love you, and I think that's it. Oh wait, Blake also told me to reintroduce myself. So if you guys haven't been following me on Tumblr or following my personal YouTube channel, I don't go by Damien anymore. My name is Gabriel. I'm going to get a second legal name change, but that's a long story I don't want to get into. So just know now, my name is Gabriel, or Gabe for short. And this is Gabe saying peace out. See you guys next Thursday.